Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I'll make it quick. I Last time I had spoken to you, I was unemployed. Got a job, got fired from the job, but then I got two more, so fuck them.
Okay,
Um,
good.
since I started the Bulldog mindset, I lost 16 pounds. I've been doing the intermittent fasting, and the 12 to
Nice.
6 seems to be the window that works the best for me. Um, yeah, and I've started to, I've had a podcast for a little bit. I got maybe 23 episodes out. It's about theater actors. It's called Thespians. And
Cool.
it's going really well. The people that do listen to it are responding to it well enough. But I find that with all these little projects that I do, I have a lot of little projects that I do. I'll finish a script or I'll produce this thing or whatever, and it sort of gets like half baked. I'll hit a point,
Hmm.
and then I just can't. I hit a really serious wall, and I was thinking about
Yeah.
that the other day. I was in the gym, and it's like my body didn't want to lift any more weight. I literally
Yeah.
was trying to do lunges, and it just my body's like, "Fuck you, I'm not moving." So I just stood there for like 45 seconds in the middle of the gym. My body wouldn't respond, but eventually I got through it. But I'm finding that with fitness, whether it comes to money, whether it comes to even like if I'm going out and approaching women and talking to women or whatever, I always hit this wall. And could that be because other aspects of my life are not taken care of? As I had mentioned before, is I'm very committed to being an actor. I'm always like I'll take the acting audition and I'll quit a job just to be able to do the audition because that could be the one audition that could change my life. But I have been that great about handling the regular adult shit, like the taking care of my money, making sure that I'm good, and making sure I have a month or 2 months ahead of rent. And I wanted to talk to you because of that picture that you have of what you used to look like, what you used to look like now. When you were making that transition and you ran into those blocks, how did you push past it?
Mm. So
Because oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say. So well, there's a couple of things. So the first thing I'll say is, have you? I'm not sure if have you read The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield?
I have read The War of Art. Yeah.
Okay, it's worth a second read. There's actually a line in there where I just reread it the other day when I was going for a run, and there's a line in there where he says that he talks about Odysseus, okay, and he talks
Mm,
about how that at the end of Odysseus's journey, they were almost back to their homeland, was it Corsica
yeah.
or right, and the men in Odysseus was sleeping, and the men opened up the bag because they thought there was good
Yeah.
shit in there, and it was the winds, right,
But-
that had been held back, right, and so it blew them all the way back,
Yeah.
right, and he's talking about how when you're at the finish line, that's when resistance fights the hardest. That
Ah.
last 10%, that when that's where resistance really fights and kicks in, right? And I feel this every day. I mean, just like I said today when I was doing my run, I mean, at mile like 15 or so, that's where I really got kicked in the nuts. Like it was like my legs didn't want to work, and it's like that's where I was just like, okay, well, I could just stop here. Like 15's enough, right? I'm dead, and
Mm,
it's like I just had to fight it. I just had to like just keep on going, and that's the thing is like I think sometimes just knowing, like if you know the tactic, right, then of your enemy, then that helps you to overcome it. So whenever I'm near finishing something, I know resistance is coming. Like
mm,
I'm already looking over my shoulder because I already know that he's behind me and ready to take me out, right? And so that's the thing to keep in mind is like just know that this is what's happening to you, right? So now you know how to fight this enemy because you know that this enemy, how the enemy attacks you,
yeah.
and it's going to attack you when you're at that, and you just got to like, that's where I talk about this a lot, is that one of the most valuable skills you can learn in life is the ability to work without motivation, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's where it's like you commit to a thing and then you just fucking do it, right? It's
Yeah.
like, even again, this morning my legs have been dead, like super dead. Like I've been just, and I after I ran 14 miles yesterday, I was in a lot of pain. I was like, there's no way. I couldn't even, it was hard to sleep last night. My legs were just hurting. And I was like, fuck, I have to run 18 miles this morning, and I have to do it early because I got to do these calls. So I just fucking just said, all right, well, let's just get out of bed and just fucking run, right? And that, like, it's like I have no motivation to do it at all. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, fuck a 100-mile race. I don't give a fuck about 100. I don't fuck that shit, right? But I'm like, well, I committed to it, so I'm doing it, right? And that's the only thing that's holding me to do it. So you got to be like, and again, I think last time we talked about identity, right?
Yeah,
and this is the thing. It's like your identity has to be this guy that just never fucking quits, that just like does the shit that he's committed to, right? If that's your identity, then you're going to live up to that identity. It's the same thing also. You got to see yourself as this guy that has got his shit together, right? Like financially, like this is like, it becomes like a standard for yourself. It's like the reason why I do this, a lot of the shit I do is because I have a high standard for myself. I'm like, who the fuck am I? I'm John Sonmez. This is what I fucking do. This is like, this is my standard. And so I have to live up to my standard. So you've got to have that identity, that standard for yourself, and then you'll live up to it. So you got to vision yourself. It's like, I talk about having like, I have delusions of grandeur. I think I'm better than I am. And that's fine, because I want to be better than I am. And the only way to become better than you are is to hold yourself to a higher account than you actually are, to a higher standard than who you are, and then fucking live up to it, because now you gotta live up to that, you know, what you've thrown out there, right? So throw your hat in the ring and be like, yeah, this is who the fuck I am, and then now you have to live up to that, and that's the thing that's gonna force you, like, because motivation won't get you there, because motivation you lose, right? It's gonna be that fucking identity, it's gonna be that attachment, that standard that you have for yourself, where you're like, that's who I am, because the most powerful force in the universe is our identity. What we believe about ourselves is the truth. And so we have to change that in order to change ourselves.
Yeah, and I thought that one of the videos that really stuck out to me was the one where you talked about the manager, and what was the other one thing you said? Again, the guy who tells you what to do, and then the guy that does the thing. Like, I was like, because I'm a little schizophrenic, obviously being an actor, so I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that shit. Split. So I'm like, I remember like last night, the manager told me this is what I got to do, so shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
That's your job. That's what. So that really helped me out a lot. And yeah, the whole thing about identity, it definitely feels like my old identity doesn't want to die. It's dying real hard because I am making serious progress, man. I swear to God. Good. And like, I got down, I got fired, man, and then I got 2 fucking jobs, and I'm on my way to get a 3rd one.
Excellent.
They could suck my dick, man. You know what I mean? Yep. Like they could go to hell, and I don't know. I'm just feeling good, so I wanted to say that. I appreciate that, and I hear you, and you're the best.
Yeah, good progress. Also, definitely get, like I said, reread War of Art, because he talks about that because he talks about writing a check to yourself, right? And he talks about how, you know, you Inc. I think he's got a part in there where he talks about the idea that, like, you know, like it's you, and then you're hiring yourself, right? So you can, you know, he talks about you can even blow smoke up your own ass, right? So it's important. So
no, I'll reread it. I'll get it now. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Take care, man.
Bye-bye.